Hey, welcome Vikings fans to the Purple People podcast. My name is Kyle West. I'm accompanied by the man with the plan, Kyle Smith. How's it going?
Crap, I lost the plan, sir. I gotta find it.
Now, I hear your plan is all fired up and ready to go tonight.
It's been an interesting day today, and I'm ready to talk football because football makes me happy.
I am too. I'm always ready to talk Vikings football. Adam Carlson is out this week. He's feeling a little under the weather. We look forward to having Adam back with us next week, we hope. So you guys are stuck with us two jokers running the show. We got people in the chat with us already. We got XKT. Welcome. Thank you for joining the live show. We love having you guys in the chat room. And ask us whatever. Tell us we're dipshits. Tell us you love us. Ask us questions. We love the interactions. We got Eric with us too. Welcome to the chat room, Eric.
So let's jump right in before I forget, and I don't see it in the quick hits. If it's at the bottom, whatever, you're going to be lucky and get it at the beginning of the show. So the Survival League, I'm going to take Adam's thunder here. We love you, Adam. Hope you feel better, man. We'll see you next week, hopefully, like Kyle was saying. But let's jump into the Survival League. I want to give a shout-out to Craig, Purple People Eaters. He ended up taking the Survival League again. I believe this is the second week in a row.
He's the two-time. He's two-time. He's like Ric Flair. He's going to be like the 17-time champ.
You can't do that. You can't say it and not go, woo! I can really piss my neighbors off. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Purple People Eaters won again. Jesus was second. That's the first time I've ever heard that in my life. So that's really funny to say out loud. Congratulations, man. I'm going to spoil a little of this for you. I'm going to send this along. I'm not going to tell you what Adam sent. And call me an Indian giver all you like. I don't care. It's free stuff. Take it. But I ordered these patches on the internet, and I thought they were Velcro, and they are not. But I got a bunch of these guys. So if you have something you could sew these onto, or if you want to iron them on, I'm not sure if they're iron on or not. I think you could sew these. These are going to be included. I bought 2 lots of 5. So I'm going to send a couple of these out for both of you because you're both winners. And I just wanted to get that out there. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, we got an awesome prize package that's going to be going his way. Like I said, we won't spoil. And then after he gets it, we'll tell everyone what all is included with it. That way you guys can know what you were playing for. But it's a cool little gift package that Adam put together. So it's a lot of fun. Last year we gave out the jersey. I'm really looking forward to next season. We're going to bring this back. Maybe we're going to tweak the rules a little bit and have a lot of fun. And we really enjoyed having everyone that took the time to play and to win some awesome Vikings gear.
Definitely, we're gonna talk about how we can improve this too. We'll have interaction with you guys. We'll post it during the off season and before the next season kicks up because we got a lot of time. But basically, my first thought is, if we maybe could do a buy-in. I don't want to break anyone's bank. I think $5 would be probably it, but we can help chip it towards, all right, cool, you got this last year, but we're going to one-up it if people are like, that's the first thing that came to mind. This isn't set in stone. Just throwing some stuff out there. The guys that are in the chat, let us know if you have ideas, float them to them. But I'm going to dive into these quick hits before I start rambling because I love rambling. So let's start.
Smith, you should put up the link as to where you got those patches from for anyone who just wants to buy them, because it sounds like we got Eric in the chat that was interested in just wanting to know where you got them from. So those are really cool. I will have to post that up on the.
Look it up on. I've got it in my email here, and I'll just look it up while we're talking about this this chat right now. But I got it on Amazon, and all I did was for work. I wear a vest at work, like you would see all these cool military operator dudes that are more badass than me. I fake like I am and I wear one. So I have my K9 patch and my rank. Well, I wanted to put something personal. Everyone has their home state. I've got my Carolina hoodie on because we play Duke Thursday night. But I wanted to put the Vikings on there. I love the Vikings. I'll say it more than I like Carolina basketball and stuff. So just a little tidbit. I went on Google and I got it on Amazon. But before we get done, or let's say right about the time we get done with the show, I'll put a link up. But
awesome.
I'm yapping too much. Let's get into quick hits. Sorry, guys. First one, the Super Bowl was Sunday, and we're going to talk a lot about that. Fell Super Bowl 51. Super Bowl 52 coming to Minnesota. And I think, hot take right off the beginning, I think we got a solid shot to make an appearance in the Super Bowl after a down year, I would say. 8-8 still respectable. But I think if anyone can bounce back from it, I think it's this team. really excited, and it's more than just a game. It's a whole week event. So if you guys are up in Minnesota and you're listening to this, I would go ahead and start planning to take some vacation days. If you can't go to the actual game, just go to the festivities. You might run into a bunch of like old celebrity NFL guys that are Hall of Famers, some current guys. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited to have Super Bowl 52. It's going to be in U.S. Bank Stadium up in Minnesota, the Twin Cities, obviously. I can't wait to see what they do to host this. I hope the halftime show is just spectacular. It would be awesome if they could do some kind of tribute to Prince during the halftime. That would be so cool.
I'm telling you, I put this on my personal page. I love the pop artists. I love everyone that they selected. I think the entertainment value was really good. But I need to see some rock and roll, and I think the Foo Fighters should play in Minnesota. So that's my vote. What do you guys think in the chat? Maybe, I don't know. There was talks of Metallica. I mean, there's so many good rock and roll names. I have no idea. Would be cool.
Too bad Motor.
Would be cool.
Too bad Motorhead's
going back too, because they've already actually played there, so it wouldn't be their first time.
Yeah, holographic Prince performance is what they say in the chat. I like that. Let's see here. Let's move on. We got Viking COO Kevin Warren. He earns the TSU Pioneer Award. That is a big award that's given out to African-American businessmen on the side of NFL franchises. So Kevin Warren earned that award for the Minnesota Vikings. He was promoted in 2005 to the position for the team, so he's been with us through thick and thin for quite a bit. He is one of the guys. He's the chief operating officer, so he helps work with Rick Spielman on all kinds of different duties throughout the team. That's a great award and a great honor for him to receive.
Pretty exciting. You know what else is exciting? Just to jump right into the next one. Your favorite Viking ever, and Steve Hutchinson eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Randy Moss. Oh.
Dude, I'm telling you, with all the stuff, if you guys haven't heard, if you've just been under a rock with the Super Bowl stuff, we'll get to that. But we had a lot of cool guys get into the Hall of Fame. Not sure if we listed that last week or not. I think we did. But a snub was T.O. I think he should have been in as well. But that's gonna piss a lot of people off. I think with Randy Moss's shenanigans, that he did, it might cause him to be held up a little bit. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He changed the game, and he was just incredible. Even 10 years later when he played for the Patriots, or 8 or 9 years later, excuse me. But two of the legends that played for us in purple, and I really, really hope they find their way in. Even if they don't get in the first year, I really hope they find their way in because I like both of these guys a lot.
Mm-hmm. Randy Moss and Steve Hutchinson, the two obviously that we're talking about. Randy is without a doubt, he's my favorite Viking of all time. And he's a first-round ballot Hall of Fame player. He changed the position. But I do think that they're going to do the same thing they did to Chris Carter, and they're going to make him wait a number of years before he goes in. And that's just because of some of the antics that he did on the field, whether it be mooning the Green Bay Packers, which in my opinion just like solidifies him being a Hall of Fame player for doing that shit right there. But they're going to make Randy wait just because some of the other stuff and off the field and talking to media and saying what he wants. And then, of course, at the end of his career, he did bounce around to a few different teams, and they will use that against him. But of course, Randy is a Hall of Fame player. I mean, come on. Anyone who says that he's not's full of shit.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I agree with you, man. He was electrifying, and I feel like I'm Jim Ross talking about a wrestling match right now. It's electrifying, but I don't see how he doesn't get in. If not the first year, at the latest, the third year he's eligible. But it's crazy, and not everybody remembers he played in 2 Super Bowls. Now, granted, both the teams he played on lost, but he did play for the 49ers. Didn't have much of an impact that year, but he played with an amazing, undefeated up to that game Patriots team. That was just incredible. And I think he caught like 20 or 25 touchdowns from Tom Brady, which was stupid. But I digress. Randy Moss is the man. I want to jump into – Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, because I can talk about Randy. We don't get to talk about Randy enough on the show. Is that people were saying, his career was over when he came to New England. And for him to come back and to have that kind of impact that he did when he went with him, I mean, come on. That was so much fun to watch. So much fun.
It wasn't how he wanted. I'm sure he wanted a ring. Obviously, we all wanted a ring in Minnesota. I would love for him to got one here with Chris Carter. But he did, fun fact, you guys remember I talked about this a lot before in previous episodes. He did catch Brett Favre's 500th touchdown pass, which was incredible. It's never talked about. It was a terrible season for us, but fun little factoid, the little gem to pull from the 2010 season. Shout out to my friend Shira up in New York. She's a Carolina friend of mine. So she gets the notifications if you guys subscribe to us on YouTube, and she decided to take a screenshot of me being lovely as we started the show. If you can't see that, I don't know if you guys can see that at home. But that's my lovely artist pose. So you guys can make fun of me for a little bit. That's embarrassing. Thank you for that. I love it. I just want to give a shout out to the people that watch at home and everybody that's faithful every week coming in here, because Kyle's usually the one in the YouTube chat, but that was pretty funny. I had to share that with you guys. But I'll let you talk about some Chad Greenway here because I love that guy.
Yeah, I'm also a big Chad Greenway fan, too, as well. He has been named to the Crew 52 captain for Super Bowl 52, and let me pull up my info on that because I had never even heard of this until just now recently. But apparently it is for the host city for the Super Bowl has a committee to help, prepare for the game and to make sure that everything goes off well, and that make sure that it's as fun of an event as possible and that there's, no problems with it. Well, Chad Greenway has been named the captain to that committee, which I think is great because Chad is a super intelligent, smart, hardworking guy, and if he retires, and it's looking like he's probably going to, it's amazing to see him still stick around and help the team, help the franchise out, and make sure that the Super Bowl goes off as good as possible. He was a guy that I always knew that, when he retires, he's going to stick around, and he'll be around this team for years to come, whether it be working in the media. I could see him doing what Ben Lever does with the sideline for a K-fan, and, just different things like this as well, too.
You know who he reminds me of, and it's so funny because he's a linebacker that works on our media crew now. I can see him being teamed up with like Ben Lever later on and just doing stuff there. What would be cool, he's obviously not going to work his way up to the Joe Bucks and the Troy Aikmans to call the Super Bowl, but he could probably be in the hype up week before. Like, I love Katie Nolan, as me and Adam always talk about it here from Fox Sports. So maybe he can make some appearances there and just, he's had a pretty good career and they could go over everything like that because, like Kyle Rudolph's not yet a household name, but there are some people that know about him because he had a pretty good year with Bradford here. He could talk about, bring Chad Greenway in. Maybe if you don't interview him, maybe he could be the interviewer. That would be great for him to be a host or things like that. That's what I thought of when I heard this, but for him to lead up some events for the next Super Bowl is pretty sweet because when you think of like true Minnesota Vikings, you think of him, and I love the fact that he stayed with us his whole career.
Yeah, and you never know. Maybe after the 49ers are done with John Lynch as their GM, they can hire Chad Greenway as a GM.
Hey, why not?
You never know.
Why not?
You never know.
That wouldn't be too shocking compared to what just happened now. I'm hiring another former player.
Who needs logic? Just let Chad run it. He's a smart guy.
He is a smart guy. We love you, Chad. Teddy Bridgewater tops the Vikings' third quarter merchandise sales. If you thought that the love was lost for Teddy Bridgewater, it's not. And I've seen through social media, I think he's got a girlfriend now because he keeps posting pictures of this girl on Instagram, which is really cool. I'm really happy if he is. But I keep seeing the other guys included because Teddy will get on and do things to uplift people's spirits because he's a great role model. He's a super humble dude. But people keep putting him on Instagram or whatever. Like I think it was Xavier Rhodes when he was at the Super Bowl. Took a picture of him and said spotted. So I'm really excited to see him out and about. Obviously, he's walking again. We saw him, doing the ladder drills, a month ago or like 3 weeks ago. So that was really uplifting. And I'll just tie this into the last bullet and we can skip that at the end. But Adrian Peterson was caught by one of the cell phone. I'm a beat reporter for this website guy. It was either TMZ or World Star Hip Hop or one of those two. I don't know. I don't really care about giving credit on the show. He followed him from the Super Bowl party this weekend, and he was asking, he said, hey, Teddy's going to be done for the 2017 season. And Adrian goes, what? Because he was getting into an SUV when he said this. For you guys that didn't see it, he goes, yeah, reports are out there that Teddy's going to miss the whole season next year. And he goes, out of Adrian Peterson's mouth, he goes, I doubt that. So that's encouraging to see. I don't think AP would BS about anybody else on the team. He does his own thing about his own career and life, but I'm pretty sure he supports his teammates very well. And, of course, they got pestered the hell out of him when he was about to close the door. He said, hey, are you going to New York or Houston? Where are you going, man? And he goes, time will tell. And you could tell he was very annoyed with him, which I was annoyed with the guy asking that question. But just to give you a little hope there, Teddy Bridgewater's topping some third-quarter merchandise sales. And according to Adrian Peterson, Teddy Bridgewater will not be out for the 2017 season. We don't know when he'll be back, but if I take anybody's word on coming back from an injury, it's AP.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Although I agree with you, I really hate when the media does this shit where like they catch a player when he's clearly in the middle of going to or from somewhere, and he's like trying to open the door to his car, and they got a camera this close to his face, and they're trying to like just leave him alone, whatever.
I'm gonna mess this impersonation up really bad, but when I think about Peter Griffin, what really grinds my gears? Like that's the stuff right there that just pisses me off. If you're a fan, if you're a celebrity or like an athlete, you should understand fans are not professionals. They don't hunt you down for a living like the paparazzi and reporters. Give them an autograph or everybody wants to take a picture now. It's usually a selfie. I get that. I would rather have a picture now than an autograph because it'll last forever. You can print it everywhere, do whatever. But
look, I've got player autographs from being up in Mankato and training camp, and you can't read half that shit. And then you get it, you get it on like a brochure or a football, and then you take it home and you look at it, and you're like, I have no idea who this even is. Pictures
find like by their name and photo in the book. That's hilarious.
Yeah, like a high school yearbook.
But I could see, fans doing that, but it just irritates the crap out of me that these guys lurk and wait for people to come out, like by the back exit. Like, come on, man. And you're probably getting paid peanuts to do it. Like, it's not even that worth it. But I digress. We're talking about Adrian Peterson. I'll let Kyle jump in. We'll tag team on these quick hits because this next one's really funny. I know you were loving this report when it came out.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out really quick to Tyler in the chat. He says he loves the podcast, and we love having all you guys that listen to us every week and joining us in the chat room. Eric, you bring up Percy Harvin when you threw that free weight at Brad Childress. Yes, that was awesome because Brad Childress is a dick and probably deserves to have a free weight thrown at him. And I think Tommy Gunn wants you to have of Peter Griffin for the rest of the show.
I could do actually, and shout out to my friend Shira again. I could do a pretty good Cleveland Brown if you would like, Tommy, if you're listening, especially when he falls out of the tub every episode. No.
Yeah, shit, that is really good.
You got to do the laugh while you're in here. Actually, I'll do the next one just because I'm loving the Dan Le Batard show more and more that I get older, and I just like to make fun of things. So I'll read this, and I want you to give your hot take on this opinion for this. But
according to Adam Schefter, the Dallas Cowboys are a potential landing spot for Adrian Peterson.
No, I didn't get that. I'm a freaking idiot. This is what happens when Adam's not here. Sorry, Adam. I apologize.
No,
but Adam,
we just
reported this week that a potential landing spot for Adrian Peterson was the Cowboys. What?
Oh my!
Oh dear.
I'm so back on that impression. That impression was amazing.
Thank you.
This report about Adam Schefter was just absolutely no details, no new information. You can go back years ago to Adrian talking about wanting to play for Dallas. This is one of those things that irritates me because it's so easy to write and bring it back up into the forefront when there's just nothing new. There's nothing new about this. Like what say that, well, Dallas is a potential landing spot for Adrian Peterson. Yeah, there's 32 teams in the NFL, including the Minnesota Vikings. They're all potential landing spots for Adrian Peterson. I mean, we can all write that story, and guess what? It's got just as much weight as what Adam Schefter wrote. That irritates me. I don't like that. If you're going to write something that has like a rumor attached to it, put a name, put a source on it, like attach yourself to it and say, hey, I was talking to X person who says that they think that Jerry Jones is interested in trading for Adrian Peterson. But no, you didn't do that because your story has no weight attached to it.
It's so frustrating reading crap like this because, like you said, if he came out and said, you don't have to give the guy's name, for my opinion. I would love a name, but just say, hey, I have a very, very, very good source, and it looks like it's really the wheels might be turning to put AP in Dallas. If he put the emphasis that way, sure. Whoa, But we know that this was just a bit piece to get people to click and just – I'm really disappointed because Adam Schefter's a reliable guy. He's like the go-to guy, him and Ian Rappaport. This totally just brought him down the next peg to me. If you're an A-plus guy in Adam Schefter, this brought me down to a B for me. Like, you got to do something better than that. It's so stupid. But they have Ezekiel Elliott, not to mention Adrian Peterson's the most expensive running back in the NFL, and I know that we're running way over these quick hits. We'll get done with them. I promise there's a couple left. But it's just they're not going to trade for him. He's a starter. I know I crap on him like every week because I think the stuff he did was stupid, and I'm still mad about it. But he's a Hall of Fame running back. It's coming out of the horse's mouth right here. He's a starter. I don't think he's going to go to 4 or 5 teams in the league and start, Dallas being one of them. Why would you go get him?
Mm-hmm.
If he's expensive and old and you have a young guy who's cheap, well, I wouldn't say cheap. He's a 4th overall pick, but he's way cheaper and he's way reliable and he can catch in the backfield. Adrian doesn't do that. He doesn't block very well either, and he fumbles sometimes. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to point out stuff because I'm still mad at AP, but Adrian Peterson's a fantastic running back. He's getting older, but he costs too much, and there's no freaking way that he's going to Dallas. And if he does, I'll eat crow and say I was wrong. But what is he going to do there? Because he doesn't want to be a backup. This guy still wants to play another 5 or 6 years. You know what I mean? It's just stupid.
Mm-hmm. But we should move on because otherwise we can spend forever talking about Adrian Peterson. We have 10 Minnesota Vikings players named to the 2016 All-NFC team. Kyle Rudolph, Everson Griffin, Daniil Hunter, Linval Joseph, Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr, Xavier Rhodes, Harrison Smith, Cordero Patterson, and Kentrell Brothers. Oh, Brothers, that's a Hogan joke. Basically, the Minnesota Vikings are your All-NFC team. Lots of talent. Lots of talent on this squad. I can see them having the potential to be do what the Atlanta Falcons did and just have an absolute rebound season and make it deep into the playoffs.
I like it, sir. I like all those names, and my favorite to stand out from the All NFC team is Daniil Hunter. He got snubbed out of the Pro Bowl, which is a freaking joke, anyways. But glad to see him getting some kind of recognition because he was a monster last year. So I'll knock these last two out. I kind of looked into this a little bit from articles on the internet. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to try to church it up like I know everything, but it was really cool seeing the events like I was talking about earlier for leading up to the Super Bowl 52 next year in Minnesota. They're going to host Taste of the NFL as well as other it says delicious events. I like that. That makes me hungry now. So basically it's gearing up for the Super Bowl, and I read the article. I'm sorry I don't have a lot of information on this, but just they're going to be hosting a series of events leading up to the Super Bowl, some of it being food tasting, some of it being, I know there was like ice skating and stuff like that because it's in the north and it's going to be super cold, stuff like that. So they're doing like the hometown stuff there as well leading up to the Super Bowl, which is really, really cool. I know Minnesota's going to take that ball and run with it because, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the first Super Bowl in Minnesota? I think it is.
No, they had one years ago when the Metrodome was relatively. Yeah, because that was the one that Prince played at halftime. I bring this up. I love to bring this up anytime the opportunity arises. I hope during this Taste Minnesota event that they have the subway head that looks like Anthony Barr, because that was creepier than shit and is terrifying. And I think that should be the centerpiece, is that Anthony Barr subway head. I don't know why.
They should have them as you walk into every restroom, just Anthony Barr everywhere in there. Just Anthony Barr everywhere. That would be awesome. That'd be terrifying. All right, guys. We got one more quick hit. We can jump into the in or out version. We're going to jump into another player this week. But former Vikings kicker, Saints kicker, Morton Anderson got in the Hall of Fame. And I'm going to tell you right now, my face lit up seeing a kicker get in the Hall of Fame. He was a freaking brick. Like, I love that guy. Yes, I know we've had no success in winning Super Bowls. Yes, you can attribute this to kickers and playoff losses and all that. But to have this position get recognized, and we talked about T.O. earlier too, it was kind of jacked up that he got in and T.O. didn't, because I think T.O. was better at his position. But I'm not going to snub any Viking getting to the Hall of Fame, especially when we get a kicker. We say that to punters and kickers are people too, right?
Exactly, and there's one going in the Hall of Fame. So there you go.
I love it.
Anderson.
So let's jump right into this. Let's jump right into it. I'm sorry, guys. I know somebody got mad at us like a week ago that we BS too much in the quick hits. So my bad. We'll try to be better. So this each weekly event, and this should lead us right up to the draft with the amount of players that we have because we only have 80 days until the draft. So I'm looking here. Yeah, we should have plenty enough. We might have to cut a couple of these down. Joe Berger was it for the week. Keep him or cut him. We had 13 comments. I'm not going to read everybody's name. I'm just going to read a couple that I really thought was interesting. Out of the 13, 11 people said absolutely we should keep him. I agree. I think he's a solid player. Steven Kornberger, you're going to get a shout-out. If we somehow wind up with 7 better linemen than him, sure, cut him. But right now that number is 0. It's pretty epic of a comment, pretty bold. I think Alex Boone did a fantastic job this year. Don't really want to jump too far into throwing my name under anybody else. That they did amazing because the line was obviously the need of emphasis. But everybody thinks we should keep Joe Berger, and that makes me happy. So
yeah, I wanted to when I made the list of people to cut and keep. I didn't want to have everyone like just an entire list of people to cut. And so I put Joe Berger on there with the intent of, the offensive line is a point of contention, and we know that they're going to have to do some improvements on it. And you're looking at Berger, who's getting older. He's getting up there in years. He's a 34-year-old player. And for an offensive lineman, that's starting to, get a little long in the tooth. And so, soon, and I just stumbled there for no apparent reason. I swear I can think like an adult. Soon, Berger is going to have to be replaced, but I pretty much agree with what everyone else is saying, is that right now, you're not going to find someone to replace him with. So we're going to have Joe for a couple more seasons, but he is starting to age out on this team, and they should be looking for a replacement sooner rather than later with Joe Berger.
Yeah, and I think this is a great segue into the main topic of the show that we're going to talk about because the Super Bowl happened this weekend. Obviously, we're going to talk about it. But Bill Belichick has a great saying. He likes to cut players a year early rather than keep them a year too late. And I love that attitude. I'd rather cut a guy and have him have a stellar season with one stellar season with a team and then just die off than have him too long and that end up affecting us. Like, let's just take a quarterback, for example. What if we went out and got Tony Romo and he's only got one good year left and he gets injured again? I know that's not going to happen, but just hypothetically. So I think in that case for Joe Berger, I think that's the perfect thing to do. And I don't think, like you said, I don't think it's his time to go yet. I think he plays at a high level too. So he's definitely one of the people to keep. Next week's going to be interesting. I'll go ahead and tell you right now, we're going to ask about the Sam Bradford deal. I know some of you guys love Teddy. I love Sam. I love Teddy too. So I can't wait to post that up next week. But let's get into this main one because we named a freaking Vikings podcast after Bill Belichick, and rightfully freaking so. I think that, honestly, you could have the debate. I know history is going to tell me to just shut my mouth. He could be in contention to be changing that name from the Lombardi Trophy to the Belichick Trophy, and I'm not even kidding. It's amazing how good the Patriots are. In the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, if you guys didn't see, which I know you all did, but we're going to talk.
First overtime Super Bowl ever.
They were down 28-3, 25 points down in the fourth quarter.
Whew.
And the Patriots came back to win it. Tom Brady looked like smashed butthole the first 3 quarters, and Atlanta's defense, their linebackers and their defensive line were beating the crap out of him, and it was awful to watch. He kind of looked like Peyton Manning against the Seahawks for the first 3 quarters. And they did a couple of adjustments, but here's my quick take on the game. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback to ever play the position. That argument is settled. And, yes, it's about rings. Nobody plays to not go to the playoffs in the Super Bowl. Don't give me that crap. So I'm not saying Joe Montana's trash. I don't say Peyton Manning's trash because I put him at number 3. I'm just telling you, Tom has solidified number 1. Bill Belichick's the greatest coach ever. I had an argument with the guy that said, any quarterback can succeed in that system. Look at Matt Castle. Matt Castle didn't take them to the playoffs and they went 11-5. Matt Castle's garbage. Well, they went 11-5. You didn't make the playoffs, dude. How are you still arguing? So that debate's over with. But
And that's also the marks of a good head coach is when you can win with someone like Matt Castle.
They won with Jacoby Brissett this year against the Cardinals, who went to the NFC Championship game last year. Are you kidding me? I don't know how they do it. But my long story short synopsis of the game, they were getting worked the first 2 quarters. Belichick went in and whispered sweet nothings of, I hate you, I'll kill you, and I'll cut you as soon as this game is over. Whatever he said, the smart-ass stuff that Bill Belichick says. And he changed the game plan a little bit offensively. The Patriots were taking deep shots. Amendola and Edelman were not catching balls, and it was pissing me off because they're pretty sure-handed for little slot receivers. But I think New England was trying to push the ball down the field too much. I think Tom was forcing some throws as well, and they were a little overthrown. When they got into the fourth quarter, especially on that final drive to show you how clutch Brady is, they threw some out routes, they threw some quick slants, and it was just clutch football, and they marched down. Then they scored, believe two two-point conversions, which is a Super Bowl record. They did everything that they needed to do to show that they had heart. And it really, to me, to sum all this up, and I'll let you give your spiel, you remember when they played the Giants, and the Giants were the underdog, especially the season the Patriots were undefeated? Nobody wanted to say that Atlanta was a bad guy, but New England felt like the underdog for this one because Atlanta had a high-powered offense. And it was just epic to watch. I had no preference on who won the game, but there's nothing that you can ask for more unless you're an Atlanta fan. I'm sure you're pretty pissed off right now, but that was an amazing Super Bowl. And in my opinion, top 5 all-time Super Bowls. It's in there somewhere. It's got to be.
Oh, yeah. And I'll keep my thoughts kind of short here, but there was a point in that game Atlanta was just absolutely throttling New England. And I remember thinking to myself, have we witnessed the end of the Patriots dynasty? Like,
Yep.
have we witnessed the end of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in New England? And then for whatever reason you want to give, and you can say whether it be play calling on Atlanta, they stopped running the ball for some reason with that large of a lead, even though it was working. Their defense looked like it started to tire out. Whatever you want to say, for New England to come back in the fashion that they did, take it to overtime, and get the win, that was a fun Super Bowl to watch. Everything that you said, I agree with about him being one of the greatest quarterbacks. I'm still Joe Montana. I still want Joe Montana. Like, you give me the option, and I get to pick the 2 games on the line. I still want Joe Montana, but I'll take Tom Brady as a backup in that situation. Yeah, it's just amazing to watch, and the NFL is not going to be as much fun when these 2 guys finally call it quits and retire.
I don't think, and Colin Cowherd said it. You guys know I like him a lot too. Damn, dude, I haven't given Dan Lebatard 2 shout-outs. I'm starting to love that show for how much they just do anti-media everything. I used to hate them. But Colin Cowherd made a point, and it pissed a lot of people off as it is. Every time you talk about the Patriots, it's going to piss someone off. But I honestly agreed with him. I think this may be the greatest sports dynasty we've ever witnessed, just for the absolute level of high. What I'm talking about? They play at a high level, and they do it every single year. Mm-hmm. I think the only year that they didn't go to the playoffs when Tom Brady was the quarterback was when he tore his ACL in 2008. That's it. That is stupid. This is their 6th AFC Championship game in a row. I mean, it's Brady and Belichick versus the field at this point. But, Father Time's going to catch up with him. We saw it with Peyton Manning. And I'm not going to harp on it too much. The Super Bowl is incredible. If you guys get it on NFL Network, watch it again if you didn't watch the game, and you'll get it without commercials now, I think, which is even better. So those commercials were not funny. Not a lot of them were good. I like the Cam Newton one. You guys Google that one. If you watch the Cam Newton commercial, that was absolutely amazing. But that's pretty much all I've got for the week. We don't have our fearless leader, so I don't want to keep rambling. But I do want to give a shout-out again to Craig. Thank you for everybody in the chat. And if you have anything you want to jump in and say, man, I'm just going to plug the YouTube page. If you subscribe to the YouTube page, if you're just listening now because you clicked the link, if you subscribe to the YouTube page, I absolutely promise you that there will be more pictures of me like this floating around. So just take that in one more time. You're welcome. And I also promise that if you subscribe to the YouTube channel and you comment on the Facebook page or tweet us at Twitter, I will talk more in the Peter Griffin and or Cleveland Brown voice when we do these randomly next time. So you're not even going to know it's coming.
Yeah, I think we should make you do the intro to the shows from now on with that voice. I think that would be entertaining.
Hey, everybody.
I'm actually pretty sure that we forgot to mention that this was episode 238.
Oh, God, Adam's going to kill us. Sorry, Adam. 238 times this has happened.
Yeah. Let's tell the people where they can find us. Of course, over on Facebook.com / Purple People Podcast. You can find us here on YouTube. We're over on thevikingage.com. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're on a bunch of other services that I have, but we're out there, and you can find us all over the place.
And our links actually work. That's a dig at another.
Let's see here. You can check Adam's workout over on undeadwalking.com. We're getting close to Walking Dead. Mid-season premiere is coming around, looking to be a great episode. So check his workout. He's got some good stuff going on over there. What do you have? What do you have for us, Mr. Smith? You got some music?
I'll be putting out a new video. If you guys like Shinedown, I've been practicing a lot of their stuff. I just put new strings on the old guitar. So youtube.com/CalSmith or SkateCount, SKAKOW. Try one of those two. We'll put a link up. Actually, I'll plug myself one time on the podcast page. I'll do that. But yeah, check out Undead Walking from Adam, Kyle and Adam. Kyle, you've been slacking, but I get it. I totally understand. They both write for the Viking Age. If you guys get your info there. Adam does a lot of player analysis for the draft, and that's going to be coming real soon. So if you want to know maybe who he thinks would be a good fit for us, check out his stuff. I have nothing else. I want to say thank you for everybody for putting up with us. I know our guy's not here tonight, but we got through it. We made a butt of ourselves again, and I am not sorry for that at all. I'm not going to apologize again for that. But thank you, everyone. Tune in next week. We'll be back at it again with some amazing Minnesota Vikings football talk. And until then, stay classy, Minnesota.